everyone, welcome back to the channel. Quick video today. I just wanted to give you guys a rundown on what I'm doing with a few gauges in the car. Normally I have a tablet system set up, but I've been bad about using it because we're always seem to be rushing to get the car ready to race. So it's kind of fallen on the back burner. It works fine when it's set up, but the problem is getting it set up before a race. So I'm adding a few gauges that are just there all the time, and they'll always be on as soon as the car comes on, and that's just gonna save a little headache and give us what we need for critical things like oil pressure and temperatures. So let's show you here what I got going on. So basically I've got three gauges I've added, and they're all from GlowShift. It's this style, they're Elite 10. So it's an LED display. It's backlit. You can change colors, whatever. I'm not worried about that. The reason I went with these is because you can set alarms on these. So if you're, say for instance, we'll go with trans temperature. Say I want to alert when the trans temp hits a 250 degrees. I'm pulling a number out of my butt here, but 250 degrees. That thing will give you an audible alert and flash at you to let you know that you've hit that designated alarm. So they all do that. I've got this one for trans temp, I've got one for oil pressure, and then water temperature, because those are obviously three very critical items when you're road racing, especially endurance racing. But if you're interested, let's see here, trans temp, part numbers, okay, oil pressure, and water temperature. The reason I'm doing this is I just wanted you guys to see the difference in the sending units or the sensors. So this is water temperature. That's the factory one. This is from a 4th gen LS out of a 4.8 truck motor. I don't think it matters, but this is what the sensor looks like from the gauge, okay? Doesn't quite go as deep there. And then obviously you have to get an adapter because the threads are not the same. Okay, that's the water temp. This is the OE oil sending unit, and this is the one that comes with the gauge. Again, different threads and different connectors. Okay. And then here's the trans temp. I've already assembled this one. This one obviously you have to drill a hole into the trans pan. So when you do this, you need to make sure that you have, number one, you've got clearance on the front side for the wiring harness, and then you have clearance on the back side for the whatever it may be here, whether it's your filter or valve body or whatnot. But I've got plenty of space there. And then I'm just going to show you real quick on the engine for those that don't know. On the Gen 4 LS, that right there, driver's side head at the front, in front of the exhaust manifold or the header, that is the factory position for the temperature sending unit for the coolant or the water. And then way back here on the back side that's behind the intake manifold, slightly over to the driver's side. That is the spot for the oil pressure sensor or the oil pressure sending unit, and that just threads in there. So let's see if I can pull out. That is the factory connector. Okay, so obviously we won't be using that, and we won't be using the factory connector for the water. So I'm just gonna cover those up. I'm gonna leave them in place because just in case I want to have the capability to plug the OE ones back in. And then here's the wiring harnesses that come with the gauges, quite long, so you've got plenty of room to run that wherever you need to go. Got that run through the firewall through a grommet that comes inside here and goes to the gauges. Okay, so I've got oil, water temp, and trans temp. So but yeah, that's it in a nutshell. So I still got some wiring to clean up in there. I just put that new dash panel in so I could get those gauges in there. And I guess kind of note too, the sending unit from GlowShift for the temperatures are the same. They're the same part, and not that that matters, but just a little food for thought there, or, you know, kind of a side note. So yeah, that's all we got. So I just wanted to show you guys that. So if anybody's looking at adding some gauges to their LS, it's not difficult. That's all there really is to it. So there you go.